I would like to welcome you to the Candidates Forum this evening. The League of Women Voters is an organization that is nonpartisan and volunteer-based. It is organized at the local, state, and national level to encourage citizens to participate in government. While the League members do study and take stands on issues, we do not endorse or support political parties or candidates. The League does encourage its members as individuals, as we encourage each of you to get involved in your community and political party of your choice. However, the views expressed in this forum are those of the individual candidate and not those of the League of Women Voters. By sponsoring this forum this evening, the League provides an opportunity for citizens' participation and exposure to candidates, but does not provide an endorsement of any candidate or candidates. All viable candidates have been invited to participate this evening. Tonight's forum is for the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, and Dave Hutch was not able to make it, so he will not be here tonight. And we have the current sheriff, Rich Stanek. In tonight's forum, the candidate will start with 5 of 6 advanced questions, and then our candidate will have he'll have 1 minute to respond. Then after that, we will have questions from the audience, and he will have 30 seconds to respond to each of the questions. I think I'm going to throw out, the time will be a little loose with the time limit since you're not competing against another person. And I'd like to take a moment, though, to point out our timekeepers for this evening. They will show you when you have 15 seconds to finish your statement, and then show you when your time is expired. For the audience, please remember to turn off all communication devices at this time. There will be no photography for the duration of the forum. So we'll start with the first question. Please tell us about your background and previous county involvement that support your candidacy for this position.
Sure. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Rich Stanek. I'm your current Hennepin County Sheriff. And when I say your Hennepin County Sheriff, it's because I take that very personally. I represent all residents of this county. It is a big place. And, you know, we try and do the absolute best job we can day in and day out. Having said that, I'm a lifelong resident of Hennepin County, 56 long years. Most importantly, though, I'm a resident of Maple Grove. I've lived out here for the past 34 years. I love Maple Grove. I appreciate the League of Women Voters and the North Hennepin Chamber of Commerce sponsoring tonight's event. And my background is simply this. I've been a police officer now for 35 years. That's 35 years of public service, something I would never trade a single day for. I've worked both as a patrol officer with Minneapolis Police, rising up through the ranks, serving in the Minnesota legislature, representing here Northwestern, Suburbs, Maple Grove, Osseo, Plymouth, and then having a chance to serve as Commissioner of Public Safety and Director of Homeland Security for the state of Minnesota.
Thank you. Our second question, what are the most critical issues facing the Sheriff Department over the next several years, and what policies will you support or initiate if elected to address these challenges?
Well, the great thing about being sheriff of this county is that you hit the ground running, right? We don't miss a beat. We've been endorsed by the deputies themselves, the men and women who work here, the Chamber of Commerce, police officers and firefighters countywide, the men and women who make the difference every single day support us. I look at violent crime. The reduction of violent crime in this county is really important. We've had a 26% reduction over the past 11 and a half years, which I thought was fair to measure for my term of service, and we're going to continue to do that. You know, reduce violent crime countywide. Secondly, the opioid epidemic that's crushing not just this county, but the state of Minnesota and this country. 175 people died in our county last year. We can do better, and we'll continue to educate folks. The third part, I think, is increasing community participation, whether through our community advisory board, our community engagement team, and then you look at our diversity in our personnel itself. When I came in as sheriff in 2006, our diversity of our agency sat at about 6%. I'm very proud through increased training and recruitment. We brought that diversity rate up to 16%, which is getting to be more reflective of the county we serve. And we can do better. We'll continue to strive to do better, but we only do better with participation by the residents themselves.
Thank you. What changes, if any, do you recommend in how the Sheriff's Department interacts with immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE?
Yeah, thank you. Well, this is a question I get a lot, as you can imagine. And as sheriff of this county, I will say that we are the first Minnesota Sheriff's Office to reject detainers by immigration customs enforcement. Having said that, we follow the law. We have legal counsel that we work with, who's the Hennepin County Attorney, another elected position. No one in jail is there for an immigration violation. Those are civil in nature, and our deputies and police officers who work across this county and do a magnificent job, they only enforce criminal law, not civil violations. And so, you know, I think as we continue to move forward, sheriffs don't get to choose whether they enforce the law or which laws they enforce. Sheriffs are here to enforce all laws.
Thank you. The opioid crisis is devastating to many Minnesota families. What additional efforts, if any, can the Sheriff's Office make to help rein in the use and abuse of opioids?
Yeah, in the Sheriff's Office, we would call this a softball. This is something I'm very passionate about, this opioid crisis, prescription drug addiction that has gripped this community and this county. Like I said, 175 people died last year. Every single one of them tragic, every single one of them preventable. The public awareness and the education about opioid abuse is really important. Medication disposal programs, drug disposal pouches. We've collected over 150,000 pounds of unused, unwanted, expired prescription meds just in the last several years. In this past year, we've given out nearly 30,000 drug disposal pouches, whether on National Night Out, up here in Maple Grove, in Osseo, in Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, in Rogers, or at the Minnesota State Fair. It didn't matter whether they came from Hennepin County or across the great state of Minnesota. We're going to continue working with folks to educate them about the hazards of prescription drug abuse, heroin abuse, opioid addictions.
Thank you. How do you see the Sheriff's Department proactively interacting with and supporting local businesses? In what way will you reach out to best understand and address the needs of businesses in Hennepin County? Please share your thoughts.
Yeah, well, that's why I was very pleased to be invited to tonight's forum, sponsored both by the League of Women Voters, which I have great and tremendous respect for. I participated in a number of their forums over the years, but also the business community. North Hennepin Chamber of Commerce and the other chamber, Twin West, that has endorsed my candidacy for sheriff. You know, our deputies and the personnel who work in law enforcement work really hard across this county, whether it's providing safe zones in downtown Minneapolis, whether it's working with community and business leaders through our community advisory board. Now, I've met with over 145 civic groups, and over the last year or so, there isn't a single Rotary, Optimist Club, and others that we haven't had a chance to speak to, whether about the opioid addiction, mental health, or how to reduce violent crime in our communities. And we'll continue to do so.
Thank you. Now we're switching to questions from the audience. How will you work to improve training in de-escalating tense situations?
Yeah, that's another great question. Well, I always tell folks that, you know, you're not going to read about the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office and the men and women who work there. You're not going to see them on the 10 o'clock news, and you're not going to see them on the front page of the paper. And the answer is simply this. We recruit and train to an exceedingly high standard, as you would expect, and we hire some very good folks. Compassion, dignity, and respect are the orders of the day for the men and women who work in the Sheriff's Office as they patrol across Hennepin County and work with local law enforcement to get the job done on behalf of the residents.
Thank you. Should party endorsements be a part of the sheriff's election?
Well, that's another great question. I get asked that all the time. Sheriff's Office is nonpartisan. When you go to your ballot box on November 6th, or you do the early balloting, you're not going to see a D, an R, or an I after Rich Stanik's name. And the reason is the sheriff is nonpartisan. When you call 911 for emergency medical, police, or fire services, you don't press 1 for Republican, 2 for Democrat, 3 for everything in between. And that's because the sheriff, no matter what color uniform you wear, what political persuasion you are, what gender or ethnicity you might be, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're here to provide seamless law enforcement public safety services to you, and that's how we do our jobs.
Thank you. What will you do to improve community relations in all of Hennepin County?
Sure. Well, we've strived over the last several years, both with 21st Century Police, and I had a chance early on to testify before President Obama's task force on 21st Century Policing. We work really hard on community engagement through our community engagement team. In fact, I see the leader of the community engagement team in the audience here tonight. Our community advisory board made up of 40 members across Hennepin County, business, faith, diaspora community, Joe and Jane, average citizen. That's being in touch with the people that you represent, the people that you police, and we are those very people.
Thank you. Is it the job of sheriff to pick and choose which laws are enforced?
Sheriff doesn't pick and choose which laws to enforce. Police officers, in my 35 years, when you raise your right hand and you swear an oath to uphold the laws of the state and this Constitution, you enforce the laws. Sheriffs don't make the laws, we enforce the laws. Sheriffs try and change the laws sometimes to make it better for the residents of their county, but you don't get to pick and choose. You don't choose whether you're going to police at an encampment site or safe injection sites, or whether you're going to work with federal law enforcement. You don't get that choice. Your job is to represent the residents of your county and police the laws of this great state.
Thank you. What changes would you make to improve the safety of our lakes?
Well, the safety of our lakes, one of the core components of the sheriff's office is we are mandated to patrol the waterways of Hennepin County, and I get a chance to go out to all 45 cities across this county. I always ask the mayors, put them on the spot right away. What are the names of the 3 major rivers that flow through Hennepin County? And we have 104 named lakes as well. We pride ourselves on the beautiful lakes here in Hennepin County. We patrol those lakes, and we do the job that sometimes no one else wants to do in terms of not just enforcement, but changing behaviors as they occur out on the lake with safe boating.
Thank you. What is your greatest achievement as a law enforcement official?
Well, this is another softball. You know, one of the greatest achievements I get to have as sheriff of this great county is I get to mentor young men and women who come in. There isn't a single person that I hire in my agency or I promote from within my agency. We have 1,100 people. 800 of them plus are full-time, 300 plus are volunteers, but every single one of them I get a chance to interview and talk to. I understand where they're coming from, what their families are like, where they live, how they got to this place, what their hopes and ambitions are. My job as the sheriff is to hope and try and get them to that place, maybe move them around the agency. But I'm very proud of the fact I get to mentor a lot of young men and women who come into the sheriff's office, and whether they stay with the sheriff's office or they move on to local law enforcement, it doesn't matter at the end of the day because they provide public service. And I know after my 35 years, I'm fulfilled in that. That's what gets me up and go every single day. So I'm happy to do that.
Thank you. Violence against women is on the rise. What will you do to ensure women and girls are safe? And this is our last audience question.
Sure, that's another great question. You know, as a Minneapolis police officer, I was commander of our criminal investigations division. As a sheriff of this county now, I also have an investigative division. We work with a number of different groups, whether it's the Coalition of Battered Women, VAWA grants. We take the time and effort to train not just our patrol officers, but our non-sworn personnel, the folks who work up in the courts, the folks who work in the different parts of our agency, about what that means at the end of the day. Compassion, dignity, respect, as well, I think, as understanding what goes in. And like I said, or maybe I didn't say earlier, but over 1/3 of my agency are comprised of women. I have women in leadership positions. We have women that we hire as deputies and detention deputies. That's a very great thing to have. And as a sheriff of this county, when I came in, it wasn't always like that, but we've been able to give folks an opportunity to go beyond maybe what they thought they could do originally, and now here they are. And they're patrolling the streets, they're providing safety and security in the courts, they work in the jail, they answer calls for service. That's a really good thing.
And our final question, In summary, how do you intend to best serve the county as sheriff and move it forward?
Well, there are probably three core things. One, I'm going to enforce all the laws of this great state and our Constitution. My job is not only to provide for the constitutionality, but also to protect the Constitution and those who do the job. Secondly is advocating for smart public safety policy to best serve the residents. That's why I get a chance to work with, on the congressional level, the state level, the local level, with elected officials. And third is to work with those elected leaders at all levels of government from both parties. All residents across the board have a say. I think that's reflected in our community engagement team, number one, two, within our community advisory board, and three, in the work that we do every single day in this county.
Thank you. Well, that already concludes tonight's forum. Once again, on behalf of the League of Women Voters and the North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce, I would like to thank the candidate for agreeing to participate in tonight's forum. I would also like to thank the voters for attending and participating. Remember, if we could not get to your question tonight, or if you have any further questions, we invite you to contact Sheriff Stanek directly with your concerns. Please remember to get out and vote on November 6th, as your vote truly does count. Thank you.